Just got me a pressure pack of the smoked turkey wings for my boy Josh, man. Y'all better get with it.
Lately I've been feeling like fuck a hater, fuck a cop.
Can't shit, you know what it is. Fredo guys, we still holding it down.
We're following another news alert tonight. Baton Rouge rapper Cleezy5, whose real name is Wes Clark, is dead after a shooting this afternoon in Baton Rouge.
Sources close to the WBRZ investigative unit say Clark was shot outside of a gym along.
He was just working out. That's it. No drama. No confrontation. Just a man trying to stay in shape on a regular Wednesday afternoon in Baton Rouge. And then two masked men walked up and ended his life right there in that parking lot, in broad daylight, while the rest of the world went about its day. No warning, no chance to run, just gunshots and then silence. That's how Wes Clark, known to the streets and the music world as Cleezy5, died on April 29th, 2026, outside Game God Fitness on Greenwell Springs Road. And the more you dig into this story, the more you realize this wasn't just a random killing. This was a message. Someone sent two masked men to deliver it, and they made sure there was no surviving it. Before we get into all of that, if you're new here, welcome to Shadow Crime. Hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you click that bell icon so you never miss an episode. We cover the cases that need to be talked about, the ones where real people lost their lives, and the world keeps moving like it never happened. Not on this channel. Now let's get into it. Wes Clark was 46 years old when he was killed, but his story in Baton Rouge goes back decades. He wasn't just a rapper. He wasn't just someone who hung around the music scene. Wes Clark was the CEO of TBG Records, the Top Boy guerrilla collective, one of the most influential rap organizations to ever come out of Louisiana. He built that from the ground up. He was the engine behind it, the business mind, the one making calls, building relationships, connecting artist opportunities they never would have had without him. Fredo Bang, one of the biggest names to come out of Baton Rouge in recent years, said it best when he paid tribute to Wes after his death. He said Wes was one of the most genuine people you would ever meet. He said he would do anything for the people he loved, that he helped countless people across Baton Rouge, single mothers, promoters, radio personalities, anyone who needed him. He was there. And then he said something that really hits hard when you think about it. He said that without Wes Clark, his music and G Money's music would never have reached as far as it did. Think about that for a second. One of Louisiana's most celebrated rappers is standing there telling the world that the man who just got gunned down in a gym parking lot is the reason his career exists the way it does. That's who Wes Clark was. He wasn't the face on the album cover. He was the foundation underneath it. He was the one making sure the machine kept running. And he did it for years, through all the chaos that comes with being connected to the streets of Baton Rouge.
We're following another news alert tonight. Baton Rouge rapper Cleezy5, whose real name is Wes Clark, is dead after a shooting this afternoon in Baton Rouge.
Sources close to the WBRZ investigative unit say Clark was shot outside of a gym along Woodcrest Drive. News 2's Joe Collins has reaction tonight from neighbors.
Yeah, Sylvia, Michael, the shooting came as a shock to many residents who tell me that is usually a quiet area.
Around 12:30 p.m., Baton Rouge police responded to a shooting along Woodcrest Drive just off of Greenwell Springs Road. Sources close to the WBRZ investigative unit say that Wes Clark was killed in a shooting outside of a gym along Woodcrest. Clark, who is known by his rap name Cleezy5, has ties with TBG, the Top Boy guerrilla rap collective, and Baton Rouge rapper Fredo Bang. Wednesday afternoon, police units and a coroner's van sat outside the building. Several people who live near the gym say they were in shock when they saw the caution tape.
And I come out of my subdivision there and I saw all the police cars and the body laying out there and I saw the action, what happened. Nobody said that somebody just got shot.
One woman who lives right by the gym says she heard what sounded like 5 gunshots. Many residents told me they were at work when it happened, but heard about it from the news or relatives who saw the news.
It's pretty much a quiet area, and, you don't hear about what's going on. The kids are always playing around here. It seems pretty safe. But unfortunately, things like that happen, in all communities. It just so happened to be our unlucky day. I don't think it reflects negatively on this community at all.
So far, no arrests have been reported and no additional information has been released about Clark's death. Michael?
And Baton Rouge is not an easy city to navigate. Let's be honest about that. This is a city that consistently ranks among the highest in the country for per capita murder rates. The streets there have a long memory, and the music scene has never fully been able to separate itself from the violence that runs through it. Wes Clark knew that better than most. He had lived it. He had watched it take people he loved, and he had still chosen to stay, still chosen to build, still chosen to pour everything he had into TBG and the artists under that banner. Here is something that a lot of people glossed over when this story first broke. Wes Clark had recently come home after serving time in prison. Now think about what that means. This man did his time. He came back, and by all accounts he was focused. He was locking in on business, trying to take TBG to the next level, trying to write the next chapter. He wasn't out there looking for trouble. He was at a gym called Gain God Fitness. The name alone tells you something about where his head was supposed to be. He was trying to build himself up physically while doing the same thing professionally. And that is what makes what happened next so hard to sit with, because whoever came for Wes Clark that day didn't care about any of that. They didn't care that he had just come home. They didn't care that he was rebuilding. They didn't care that real people, real families, real careers depended on him. They masked up, they pulled up, and they walked up to him like it was nothing and fired multiple shots at close range. Police confirmed there were 2 of them, both masked before they even got out of the vehicle. That detail matters. You don't mask up before you get out of the car unless you plan this well in advance. This wasn't a confrontation that escalated. This was an execution that was scheduled. Lieutenant Eugene McNeely of the Baton Rouge Police Department said it plainly when he spoke to reporters. He said it was a targeted attack. He said they know the 2 suspects walked up and fired upon the victim multiple times, killing him at the scene. He also confirmed that the suspects fled in a vehicle that was already positioned nearby. Everything about this was coordinated. The masks, the getaway car, the timing, the location. Someone knew Wes Clark's routine. Someone knew he went to that gym. Someone had been watching. Now here is where it gets even heavier. And I need you to stay with me because this part of the story changes everything about how you see this case.
I was still being street at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, like I say. You heard me? We wasn't even doing no contracts or none of that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no paperwork. You know, I ain't on that. I want to see if you real. You know what I'm saying? See, I was still street. I see, I'm business-minded now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I was still street then.
TBG has been through this before. In 2017, another key figure in that same collective, Garrett Burton, known as G Money, was shot and killed outside a recording studio in Baton Rouge. That case is still open. No convictions. No justice. And now here we are in 2026, and TBG has lost another one of its most important pillars in another target attack. With the killers still out there, are you seeing the pattern? Because I need you to really sit with that. 2 murders. 2 key figures from the same collective. 2 cases where the killers walked away clean. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And the people of Baton Rouge know it. The hip-hop community knows it. And honestly, at this point, law enforcement knows it too. They just haven't been able to close the loop yet. When news of Wes Clark's death spread across social media, the reaction was immediate and it was intense. People weren't just mourning. They were afraid. They were angry. And a lot of them were talking about retaliation. Police were so concerned about what they were seeing online that they began actively monitoring social media for any plans of violence following the shooting. Lieutenant McNeely came out publicly and said they were hearing that the violence may continue. Think about that. The police are telling you openly that they believe more bloodshed is coming. That is how serious the atmosphere in Baton Rouge was in the days after Wes Clark was killed. Now here is where the streets and the official investigations start telling 2 very different stories. Online, people immediately started connecting this killing to the long-running feud between TBG and NBA Young Boys Never Broke Again crew. That rivalry has been going on for years. It has been brutal on both sides. It has cost lives on both sides. So when Cleezy5 got hit like this, the internet drew its own conclusions fast. But here is what investigators actually said. They said they currently have no evidence connecting Wes Clark's death to that specific dispute. However, And this is important. They did not say there was no group connection at all. What McNeely said was this. He said they see and feel that there is some association involving certain groups in Baton Rouge, but that it is nothing they can openly say at this time because the investigation is ongoing. Read between those lines with me for a second. That is not a denial. That is a cop who knows more than he can say publicly, being careful not to compromise an active investigation. There is a difference between saying we don't know and saying we can't say right now. And what McNeely said was very clearly the second one. So where does that leave us today? No arrests have been made. The two masked gunmen who walked up and executed Wes Clark in that parking lot are still out there somewhere. The getaway vehicle has not been publicly traced to anyone. The investigation is ongoing, and police are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 225-344-7867. If you know something and somebody out there does, that number could be the difference between justice and another unsolved case that gets buried next to G Money's. And that brings me to the questions that I cannot stop thinking about. And I don't think you will be able to either once you leave this video. Who knew Wes Clark's gym schedule well enough to plan this down to the masks and the getaway car? Was this about the music, about the label, about street politics, or about something that happened while he was away doing his time? Why does TBG keep losing its most important people in targeted attacks, while the people responsible walk free? And what does it say about a city, about a system, when a man comes home from prison trying to do better, try to build something real, and gets cut down before he even gets a chance? Wes Clark was more than a headline. He was a father figure to an entire music movement. He was the reason careers existed. He was the person single mothers in Baton Rouge could call when they needed help. And on a Wednesday afternoon, while he was simply trying to take care of his body, someone decided his life was over. Justice has not come for G Money. It has not come for Wes Clark yet either. But somebody out there knows who did this. And the only question left is whether they will carry that secret forever or finally give this man the justice he deserves. If this case hit you the way it hit me, share this video. Let more people know about Wes Clark. Let more people know about what is happening in Baton Rouge. Like this video, subscribe to Shadow Crime, and click that bell so you are notified the moment we drop the next episode. Because we are not done with this story. Not even close. We will be back the moment there is an update, an arrest, anything. Until then, stay safe, stay aware, and never forget that behind every case we cover, there is a real person who deserved better. Rest in peace, Wes Clark. Cleezy5, gone, but this channel will not let you be forgotten.